Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'm Bobby Christine, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Georgia. With me today are Jim Hurley, Assistant Special Agent in Charge for the Atlanta Division of the FBI, Bo Kolodka, Assistant Special Agent in Charge for the Atlanta Division of the ATF, Tom Norris, Special Agent, U.S. Secret Service, Brian Ogden, FBI, Augusta Judicial Circuit District Attorney Natalie Payne, Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree, Assistant United States Attorneys Tara Lyons, Hank Sims, and Andy Pasquale, and Special Assistant United States Attorney Michael Marchman. We've invited the members of the media here because you have the power to amplify the voices of these law enforcement officers and prosecutors so that we can reassure our community that their safety is our primary goal, and to let those who would disrupt our neighborhoods know that we will not tolerate illegal enterprises, particularly violent activities of career criminals. We will find them, we will arrest them, and we will shut them down. The worst of the worst crimes are labeled in FBI statistics as Part 1 crimes. The areas of this operation are the source for some of the worst crime statistics in Richmond County. In 2017, criminal activity in the 30906 zip code represented nearly 40% of all Part 1 crimes committed in Richmond County, even though less than 30% of the county's population lives in the 30906 zip code. As a primary function of the Project Safe Neighborhoods program, our charge from the United States Attorney General is to focus on the communities where law-abiding residents are suffering the most harm and fear from crime. The pursuit of the alpha criminals are what we're about. The alpha criminals are those who are responsible for the criminal activity. In Operation 30906, we have gone after criminals in the area of the county hardest hit by crime. And with this surgical strike, we intend to cut the cancer out of this community. As Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker succinctly put it, most of the crime in this country is committed by relatively few criminals. If we can take those few criminals off the streets, then we can keep them from committing a lot more crime in the future. That's why we are here today. In Operation 30906, we're taking nearly 30 defendants off the streets. Most of them are facing federal prosecution for gun crimes. That, if convicted, will keep them off the streets. And we can reassure the community that these defendants, if convicted, will not be committing more crimes in their neighborhoods. The single greatest factor that joins these nearly 30 defendants together in this case, other than the fact that most of them at this very moment are under the same roof at the Richmond County Jail, is that they were committing their crimes in a relatively concentrated area of Augusta. As I noted earlier, the 30906 zip code holds less than 30% of the city's residents, but criminals there commit nearly 40% of the city's major crimes. That is dangerous. It is unfair to the community at large, and it certainly is unfair to the good, law-abiding residents of 30906. Many of whom we thank for their assistance in finding and removing those who would inflict harm on their neighborhoods. Of the 20 defendants in this case facing federal charges, each one is charged with unlawful possession of a firearm. Many are also charged with drug possession or possession with intent to distribute drugs. Their arrests resulted in the seizure of at least 29 illegally possessed firearms, along with significant amounts of cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana. Operation 30906 also resulted in the seizure of counterfeit money, along with the equipment used to produce it. Counterfeiting is dangerous. It victimizes whole communities by compromising the source of currency we all use to pay for daily needs. It is far from a victimless crime. Imagine being the grandparent cashing a check to buy food for your grandchild, not realizing that the money received is fake and could be confiscated when used, and nothing received in return. Operation 30906 is important. These law enforcement officers their agencies, and our prosecutors are committed to making sure that the nearly 60,000 residents of 30906 and all the law-abiding residents of Augusta are not repeatedly victimized by a relative handful of lawbreakers. We last stood before the media in Augusta in September to talk about another joint federal, state, and local investigation that rounded up members of the sex, money, murder gang in the area south of Tobacco Road. So today's announcement is a reminder that we will be relentless in fighting violent crime in Augusta and all of the Southern District of Georgia. In addition, in Swainsboro, tomorrow, our office is facilitating a day-long training session for anti-gang investigators. The session for law enforcement and prosecutors from all around the state is an effort to strengthen the shared assets that provide our agencies with the ability to continue to win the fight against violent crime. These operations are a message of reassurance to the good people of our community. They are also a continued warning to those who would do our communities harm. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will put you in prison. Thank you for helping to share that message with the citizens of Augusta. We'll provide you with details of each of the defendants' arrests in Operation 30906. I'd ask Jim Hurley, FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge, to please come to the podium.
I would only want to emphasize that the arrests this morning are an example of what can happen when federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies and prosecutors work together. Among the individuals arrested this morning, a number were violent, some were gang members. These were people that were predators on the streets, and today should make the streets safer. The FBI, and particularly the FBI Augusta Safe Street Gang Task Force, will continue to work with our federal, state, and local partners and prosecutors to keep the streets safe. Thank you.
Are there any other federal agents that would like to speak? No. I'm going to introduce now Augusta District Attorney Natalie Payne and Sheriff Richard Roundtree, two better partners a United States Attorney could not have. I'm proud of these two professionals and what they're doing to make our streets safer. Natalie.
We are very excited about the arrest today. We're also very excited to work with the U.S. Attorney's Office. This has been a great partnership. I think it's going to benefit Augusta going forward because I know this will not be the last of the joint investigations that we do together. So I'm very grateful to U.S. Attorney Bobby Christine and his office and all of the FBI, ATF, everyone that assisted in this investigation.
Sheriff.
Thank you. This is an exciting time for Augusta. As the U.S. Attorney told you before, back just several months ago, on a promise that was made that we as federal partners and local partners are going to bring to bear every resource we have to combat violent crime in Richmond County, especially in the South Augusta neighborhood that we have identified. This is just another example of that promise being kept, and this is not just one of the promise. The resources which made before, that the message that we sent out to those suspected criminals was that your turn was coming. And that promise has been kept, and we still have ongoing investigation, and this will not be the last time you see this group assembled here. And that's what the message we want to send to the citizens of Augusta, that we as a local law enforcement agency is not in this alone. All our federal partners are more than willing to step up and even lead the charge in helping rid Richmond County of crime. And that is an exciting time. So as they go to bed tonight knowing that those individuals will no longer be on the streets of Augusta, and again with the successful prosecution of the great team that's assembled, it'll be a very long time before they're able to harm anyone within our community again, and that is a grateful night for us. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. We will field some questions. We do have the subject matter experts here. Ms. Lyons, if you'll come a little closer to the podium, should I need assistance. And of course, law enforcement is here with us as well. Any questions?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned protecting the citizens. Is it the hope also with this operation that you're going to give regular citizens the courage to come forth and cooperate for investigations?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. What Ms. Lyons and the team she's assembled is doing with this operation is just that. Like the Kyla Brownsville neighborhood in Savannah, when individuals who lived in that neighborhood stepped forward, and similar operations in Brunswick, which are ongoing. As those folks step forward, they had the courage to do that. We have got to show them that we've got their back. And it needs to be done so in a very real and tangible way. So that's absolutely part of this. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So your mission is to take these issues and gangs off the streets. I know when you take one in, another one comes out. How do you guys kind of plan to deal with those measures when that happens?
A never ceasing increase, a surge of continued prosecution. We are doing more today than we did yesterday, and we will do more tomorrow than we are doing today. We will be relentless and indefatigable. We will be tireless. We will continue this surge. Augusta is a good and healthy place. There are only a few bad apples, and we will be taking those out.
If I may also add, one of the benefits of federal prosecution is that our sentences are longer. So this idea that people are coming in and then just turning back around and getting out, that's not the same in federal court. And you will see that as some of these targets are prosecuted and sentenced, they will not be able to just turn around and go back to this community.
Absolutely. Like the operation we came to you with when Ms. Lyons stood with Sheriff Roundtree and District Attorney Payne just a few months ago. That operation netted, because of the hard work of the FBI and the Sheriff's Department, several high-value targets. And you saw most of those targets being prosecuted in the state court. That's because we sit down without any arrogance, we check all that at the door, and we say, where are these defendants who need our attention? Where are they most likely to get meaningful incarceration if convicted? And in that case, the vast majority of those defendants were facing significantly more impactful sentences in the state system because of the peculiarity of the charges that they faced. We only took 3 from that operation, and we were happy to do that. Those 3 have already actually entered pleas of guilty and are, God willing, going to be sentenced very shortly. In this case, the matrix worked out a little different. About 20 of the approximately 30 that were taken in this case, 20 of the approximate 30 that were taken in this case, will be taken federally because of the nature of their charges. These aren't earth-shattering sort of charges. They're guns illegally possessed, drugs, and in some cases counterfeiting. But the 20 that will be going into the federal system are facing significantly longer sentences in the federal system. And the approximate 10 that are going into the state system are facing significantly more jeopardy there because of the nature of what they're charged with. And that's what this program, to be beneficial, has to be about. You know, we're not scooping up children in the federal system willy-nilly without paying attention to whether taking these individuals off the street will actually affect the crime rate. We believe this batch will, and we're going to proceed in that manner.
These kind of things take time. How long have you guys been looking into this?
Some of these cases have been investigated for quite some period of time.
I would say a minimum of 4 months at this point.
So now, the last time we talked, it was that big gang bust. Now we're here again. Is there a next mission that you guys are kind of now honing in on and focusing on, or is it kind of just trying to hit as much as you can?
Why do you think those folks look so tired? They're
No
here.
breaks.
They're here 7 days a week. They're here on holidays. They're here on weekends. They're here before I get here, and they're in most instances here well into the night. There are several more operations. In fact, this is occurring throughout the district. Usually the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas is kind of sleepy. Unfortunately for our staff, we're engaged in a whole lot of what makes us happy between now and Christmas.
Do you see any connection with these arrests to, and forgive me if you've already said this, but is there a connection between these arrests and gang activity in the area?
In this particular case, what unites these defendants is the area in which they were perpetrating their crime. The Sheriff's Department and our federal partners keep a lot of quantitative data. A lot of analysis has gone into this. And we're striking where the crime rates are the highest. But you know, you push that down and then we'll attack the next tier. The reality is that this is not a gang indictment per se. Are there some gang connections to this? Absolutely. But that's not the primary concentration of this particular indictment. Sheriff?
Absolutely, and like we said before, some of the information that we get from previous cases lead to this information with people who are engaging in violent crime, especially gun crimes in Richmond County. There's always a nexus there. And one thing I do want to emphasize, even though we are targeting the 30906 area code, we're not by any means saying in Richmond County that this is a bad area. It is saying that statistically speaking, we have seen a higher level of concentrated violent crime in this area. And because of that, that's why we want to go into that area. So it's an investment in the 30906 area, not an indictment. And we want to make that clear with that. So hopefully, as we did the last operation, because it was in the same area, citizens start seeing a reduction of the shootings or some of the violence that they were seeing every day. And this is just another layer of that. And to piggyback on your question, what you said earlier, there's always going to be a next step. And that's the promise that we have made and we're committed to it. It's always going to be something next. And the word we put out, and as a warning, it's a fair warning, we're not doing anything secret. We told the criminals 2 months ago that we're coming. We're here now. We're telling you now that we're coming again. So I hope they heed the warning.
Springboarding off of that, any encouraging words for the citizens of Augusta to maybe step up and, say something?
Absolutely. I mean,
Say something.
as Attorney Christine said earlier, it gives the people power. People in their neighborhoods that sometimes think they're trapped in the area because of violence and they're fearful to do so. They'll know they have the full backing of not just our local agency, but all our federal partners to bring bear on their problem. So it empowers people, it empowers neighborhoods. This is a community effort, a community event. We're excited about it. Like we said earlier, egos have been placed at the door here. No one is here is trying to take more credit than any other agency. The fact that we can all come into a room and say, this is what we have done, this is what we are continuing to do. That's what the citizens of Augusta and even throughout the Southern District should understand, that this partnership is going on throughout the Southern District under this leadership and under these partners. So it is something to be excited about, and we hope that the citizens joining in that excitement and start bringing information and stepping up and helping us take down some of these violent offenders.
One last question, I think she might have touched on it softly. I know a while back there was an incident in Swainsboro with gang members shooting, and people wanted to come forward and give tips and information. They were afraid because they weren't sure what would happen to them if word got out. So I guess, in what ways are you guys kind of keeping those who do come forward safe?
Well, I won't detail exactly how we do that because we want to keep them safe.
Right, of course.
But that dovetails into what the sheriff was saying. The evidence of the vibrance and health of the 30906 area is obvious in this indictment, as it was members of that community in large measure, in a lot of these areas, that came forward to help us make the cases. They're saying that the good, healthy, law-abiding folks at 30906, we're just not going to have this anymore. And quite frankly, I'd like to challenge the other areas throughout the Southern District to have the courage that the folks in 30906 did to help us put this together. And I think that's really a hallmark of just what a vibrant community it is. We are landing in Swainsboro tomorrow with both feet, a massive investment of time and resources, training, and the folks in Swainsboro are going to observe that we have their back.
We've recently been in Dublin, Georgia, and we had the same issue where the community felt like they couldn't go outside of their houses at night. We did a small operation there, and in return, what we gained was community trust. The people in the community have to feel like they can trust the police so that they can go to them and give them tips. And I think it was Sheriff Roundtree who said it a moment ago about the citizens in 3906. Well, when you look here, we are the citizens of Augusta. All of us live in Augusta. So we care about this community. We do want to empower them. We're not just here to indict them. We want to make sure that when we drive through 30906 or we go visit our family in 30906, we're all safe. And I think that's what the most important thing in doing this is for all of us.